Maybe we'll get a bad result. Open. Alright, so now we have this composition as well as a folder with all those layers we created in Illustrator. So let's double click that composition. And the first thing we want to do is select all of the layers, turn on 3D, turn on motion blur, and turn on continuously rasterize. Okay, now we're going to begin. Well, first of all, you can see this is a 15-minute composition, so I'm going to bring that down to around 5 seconds because our animation is only going to be about that long, if that. So composition settings, 0.5, 0.0. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is drop the position attribute for all these. So select all, Command A, hit the P key for position, and we get all of that. Then we'll drag this out to around half a second. It doesn't have to be exact. And we'll tweak that later. Okay, so let's set a keyframe there by hitting the stopwatch. We'll set it for all of them. And then we're going to drag the playhead back to the beginning and click off of all those guys. Alright, so now the fun part begins. We will begin dragging each word off the stage, or at least close to off the stage, to make their starting position. So, starting with 2, sorry, let's go up. And then Dynamo will have to select all of the letters individually, holding shift, bring those guys down. Okay, so now in a half a second span, you can see by hitting 0 to RAM preview, everything slides in. You can also bring this preview area smaller, so we just preview the part we're actually working on. Okay, looking pretty good so far. It stops kind of abruptly, so we remember we need to put easy ease on all these frames, so we'll select all the frames, go to animation, keyframe assistant, easy ease, and then we can preview that again. A little more organic motion. Okay, so now that we have all the words animating onto the stage at the same time, we will need to start cueing them with each word of the audio track. So let's first close all these layers up to get them out of the way. We can select them all, and because position is open, we can hit P to close it back up. And we're going to import our audio, file, import, file, grab that audio track, open. Now it's in our project window. We can drag it down into our composition. It'll be on the top. And then to begin previewing that audio only and not having to do our RAM preview, we just hit the decimal on the numeric keypad.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
Or we can hold it down and it'll play just the spot we're at.
To the starry dynamo.
Alright, turn that up a little bit. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to start dragging these markers onto the beginning of each word as our narrator, Allen Ginsberg, says it. So I'll do that now, starting with V because 2 will be right at the beginning. Zoom in a bit. Seems about right. And starry. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and finish all of those markers so you don't have to sit through it. Alright, as you can see, I've gone ahead and put markers at the beginning of each word, so I can preview those by hitting the decimal again. Here's dynamo.
Dynamo.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to start dragging out the words to their respective marker. So this would be V to the, starry. And then dynamo is going to be actually a section of layers. And the machinery of night. Alright, so they're all dragged out. We can preview that again by hitting 0 on the keypad.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
Alright, so they're not timed perfectly, but you can take care of that after you get everything generally laid in. But right now, we're going to go ahead and animate the individual letters of dynamo, so you can see how that goes again. Let's preview one more time.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
Okay, so dynamo is all coming in at one time, so we want to, sorry about that, zoom out. We want to select all the layers representing dynamo and go to Layer, Pre-Compose. You look at this dialog box. You're going to move all the attributes in new composition. Okay. So now we have this new composition we can go inside of, and that has all the letters of dynamo inside of it. So the basic animation I want to do here is to have these letters kind of come on one after another. So I'm just going to sort of slide these out a little bit like we did in the main scene. We can preview that. Looks pretty nice. And as you can see, if I hit the P key for position, all those keyframes from outside are in here and they have the easy ease on them still. So that's good for us. So now let's go back out to the main scene. And as you'll see when we preview,
To the starry dynamo in the machinery
kind of
of
has
night.
that neat new effect on it. And then last but not least, we are going to do a quick 3D effect to the word night. Okay, so before we start doing this, you want to go ahead, because that dynamo composition is the size of the entire main composition, you're going to first want to lock it up. So hit the little lock, and now we're going to get our night, and we still have those position keyframes on it, so hit P, we can see those, and we're actually going to, I want to do like a 3D rotation effect on it, so we don't really need those position frames. So let's go ahead and select them, hit delete, okay, and now 3D is already turned on this layer, and, sorry I undid those, let's do them again. Okay, so, and we want this to be our final position still, so we want to rotate around the x-axis to make this kind of swing in as if there's a hinge at the top of the word. So let's hit R for rotation, and we get these XYZ rotation attributes, but our anchor point is in the center of the word, so first we want to move that to the top to make that kind of hinge effect. So what I did was select this pan behind tool up here, or you could just hit Y on your keyboard and then just drag the anchor point to the top. Then we're going to get our arrow back and then go ahead and hit X. And now that's going to be our final position, and then drag back to the beginning of that layer and go ahead and rotate back into space around that axis until it is invisible. And now you can see that we have this swinging motion, but it's pretty simple. And kind of boring, not really realistic.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
So the first thing I'm going to do is add another couple swinging motions so it kind of swings down to a resting position. So first, it's going to swing out past its finishing position pretty far, and then back behind its finishing position, not very far, and then it'll hit that finishing position. And as you notice, I was just moving this X value, and it creates those keyframes for us here. So that's kind of nice. We can preview that again.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
So that's kind of nice, but it's kind of quick at the end. So let's go ahead and select those 3 frames, hold the Option key, and then drag out the last one, and it'll move those down the timeline relative to one another. So let's preview that again.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
It's a little better, but it's still a little jittery, and that's because when we made these new frames, we didn't turn on Easy Ease. So let's do that now. Animation, Keyframe Assistant, Easy Ease. Preview one more time.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
So that's kind of nice.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.
And again, these aren't timed perfectly because I just wanted to get you the general principles in here. And you would come in and fine-tune all of these motions afterwards and maybe add additional effects, as I did tonight, to make this stuff really pop. But this gives you the general idea of how to get started in Kenetic Type. And I will hope to have some more demos online as soon as possible. So here it is.
To the starry dynamo in the machinery of night.